Right guys, Tom here, and today I'm sporting a flashy new haircut, but that's not all we're going to talk about. Today I'm reviewing the Extreme Rules 2015 pay-per-view, so hit the like button, let's get right into this review. Okay, so it was the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, so it always wasn't going to be as good as probably one of the best WrestleManias ever, but it was still a pay-per-view and we still had to give it a watch. And overall, my opinion of this pay-per-view was it was worth a watch, but at the end of the day, it wasn't amazing, but it had its good moments. Okay, so we firstly got to talk about the big one, the main event. I was sold on the idea of Seth Rollins against Randy Orton. I thought that was going to be a very good last match on the card for Extreme Rules. I thought that was going to be an amazing match. Overall, it was decent, but it was nowhere near as good as I thought it would be. Cage matches never really do it for me. I find them really boring. The camera, you can't really see what's happening because you've got this solid steel structure in front of you. They're always really bad. I never find steel cage matches that good. And the fact that they took the RKO away as well, I didn't really think it was that good. And the fact that J&J Security weren't really in the match as well, I thought they'd be at ringside for the whole of the match, them little two cronies doing their dirty work, but they only really came out at the end. I thought if they were there for the whole of the match, it would have made it a lot better. The psychology with Kane opening and closing the door was really good. The ending with Randy Orton not hitting the RKO on Kane, but then Rollins hitting the RKO on Randy Orton, I predicted that. And I thought that was an amazing finish. That was a really cool way to end the match. The perfect ending to end the match. A really good way to tell the story. And I thought that was a great way to end the pay-per-view. So for me, that match overall, the ending gets a thumbs up. But the match itself wasn't amazing. But the ending, for me, makes up for the fact that the match wasn't great. So for me, I'll give it a good thumbs up. And Seth Rollins, still the champion, is the way to go. He's only just won it. It was the obvious decision for him to walk out as the champion. And we'll move on to the next match. So the next match we're going to talk about is The Big Show against Roman Reigns. I was not entirely convinced this match was going to be as good as it was. I mean, I thought it was going to be boring as hell. I thought the Chicago crowd were going to boo Roman Reigns and Big Show out the building, but really, with a few table spots, the crowd really got into it. And I mean, if there wasn't for those table spots where people were going through tables, I mean, Roman Reigns, Big Show, they both went through numerous tables. Without them, the crowd would have hated this match. But thankfully, WWE booked it wisely, and it was a really entertaining match. I thought the ending was a bit shit. I mean, we've seen that before where Big Show's piled on top of us, on top of the announce table. Alberto Del Rio did it a few years ago, so we've seen the ending before, so that was a bit naff. And also, I've just realised that sort of Roman Reigns is even worse than John Cena. I mean, we thought Super Cena was bad, but Super Roman Reigns is even worse. It's so cringy where he's cranking up the Superman punch and he's standing over Roman Reigns on top of the announce table. It's really cringy. This guy's going nowhere. I mean, without these table spots, it would have been boring as hell. The match was good, but Roman Reigns is not going anywhere. I mean, Big Show is more entertaining than Roman Reigns in this match, and that's saying something. I mean, I don't see anything in Roman Reigns at all. I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't bring anything to the table for me. I mean, everything he does is choreographed, it doesn't seem real. He's just going through the motions. I mean, even when he speared Big Show through the barricade, it just felt like that had been practiced numerous times before. And they do all these big spots to get Roman Reigns over. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have these big spots, his matches are boring as hell. So for me, the match was really good. But Roman Reigns, I can see from now, he's not going anywhere at all. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. Without these big spots in his matches, he's not good whatsoever. So I'll give the match a thumbs up. It was a lot better than I thought it'd be. But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns isn't going anywhere at all. Now, we got a segment between Bo Dallas and Ryback. I mean, what the hell was this? What the hell was the point in this? I would have much rather have had an extra 5 minutes of the main event than an extra 5 minutes of Ryback against Bo Dallas. What the fuck was that? Let's move on. Holy shit, this isn't Friday Night SmackDown anymore. This is a pay-per-view. What were they thinking? So, once again, Nikki Bella retains her Divas Championship. For fuck's sake, when are we going to get a new Divas Champion? This is absolutely ridiculous now. Naomi's just turned heel. Surely she's looking for the win. If she gets the win here, that would set her heel career off to an absolute banger. But for some reason, WWE gives Nikki Bella the win again. She's been the champion for about 7 months now. Who the hell cares at this point about the Divas division? I mean, they've kept the belt on her for so fucking long. It's getting a bit of a joke. I mean, seriously, she's still got the championship. Do you not find that funny? I find that funny because what the fuck? She should have never won it in the first place and she's still got it. She's just defeated Naomi, who's just turned heel. This would have been a great way for Naomi to beat Nikki Bella, and then Paige comes back, wonders why Naomi's got the title, and then they have a big feud in the summer. Couldn't they have done that? That sounds amazing to me. If you guys think that sounds amazing, comment, because that sounds good. But for some reason, WWE go the boring route and just have Nikki Bella retain. Thumbs down from me. I'm actually going to agree with WWE here. The New Day winning the tag team titles was a great decision. They got so many boos from doing this. It was absolutely brilliant. Now, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro have now turned babyface. The Chicago crowd absolutely cheered for them. But the New Day won with a roll-up pin and stole the victory and won the tag team titles. I mean, that is one way to get over a heel tag team. It was absolutely brilliant. Xavier Woods was annoying as hell through the match, chanting for the New Day. It was absolutely brilliant. They got booed out the building after the end. They stole the win over over Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. It was a fantastic match as well. It was really, really good. But overall, the best thing about it was how over the New Day are now. They've just stole the titles off the fan favourites of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Everybody loves Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. And for Kofi Kingston to win with a roll-up, holding Tyson Kidd's tight, I think that is absolutely brilliant. It was the way to go. They are super over now. They got booed out the building. I love Tyson Kidd and Cesaro as champions, but the New Day, super heels. It sounds like a great idea to me. This is going to spice up the tag team division as the New Day walking around as a threesome, a big trio, the big heels. Great idea. Great match. Another match I thought was a hell of a lot better than I thought it would be was Sheamus against Dolph Ziggler. Now, I've never really been that impressed with Sheamus, but I thought he was freaking fantastic here. And even though he didn't win the match, he still came over as a fantastic heel, and why Sheamus should never have turned babyface. He was absolutely brilliant. I mean, his match against Ziggler was great. He looked $1 million. Ziggler sold Sheamus's moves fantastically. Sheamus looked brutal, and that's exactly the persona he was trying to portray. It was great. It was so good. Sheamus looked amazing. Ziggler won the match, which is good for Ziggler. Any Ziggler fan is always chanting for Ziggler and pushing Ziggler. He got a win over a returning Sheamus. Maybe a year ago, if Sheamus had returned, Sheamus would have got the win. Usually the guy that returned always gets the win on his first pay-per-view match, but for Ziggler to beat Sheamus, that's quite a big thing to do. So that was quite unpredictable, but what I liked they did here was that even though Sheamus lost, he walked out with even more heel heat. He lost the match, but he gained even more momentum because instead of walking out as a sore loser, well, he walked out as a sore loser, but he lost the match, but he got even more over by losing the match than even probably if he won the match, because instead of kissing Ziggler's ass, he bro-kicked Ziggler. I mean, he got so much heel heat, so he got absolutely booed. He got even more booed than in the New Day, so he lost the match. And still, people are booing the hell out of him. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Sheamus is super over right now. He looked absolutely brilliant. I, for once, enjoyed a Sheamus match. And I haven't said that in a long, long time. Heel Sheamus is the way to go. This was great. I loved the way they bro-kicked Ziggler. What a great way to get some boos down Sheamus's throat. This was fantastic. I loved the match. And I loved the way they gave the heat to Sheamus. Good thumbs up. Another thumbs up I'm going to give it to is Luke Harper against Dean Ambrose. I mean, this match started really, really well. The first half was really, really good. It was really entertaining. These guys always put on good matches. without a doubt. And then they got in a car and drove off. I mean, how unique is that? That is some unique way to start a pay-per-view. We then have 2 more matches, and then the car comes back, Dean Ambrose jumps on the New Day, and then we have the match carry on because it never really ended because it's a Chicago street fight. It carries on and Dean Ambrose gets the win with the dirty deeds over Luke Harper. Finally, Dean Ambrose gets the win. He's lost his last 9 pay-per-view matches. This guy is he's superbly over. But for some reason, he's lost 9 pay-per-view matches in a row. Finally, Dean Ambrose gets the win. Wow, what a great decision. This was really unique. I liked it how they carried the match on after 2 other matches. I mean, it was quite a cool way. We've never seen that before. I thought that was a really cool thing to do on a pay-per-view. Spectacular way to do on a pay-per-view. It was cool. I mean, they drove away and then came back about half an hour later. That's cool. That is cool. But for Dean Ambrose to get the win in Chicago, bloody fantastic. And finally, Dean Ambrose wins at a pay-per-view. Sadly, there was a match I didn't like, and that match was John Cena against Rusev. And we're even going to get another one at Payback. I mean, I thought this was the last match between John Cena and Rusev. Surely it wasn't a great match, so surely they won't think about doing one again. But apparently at the end of the pay-per-view today, they've now announced that there will be another match between Cena against Rusev at Payback. What are they thinking? This match sucked. Why do we want another one? The Russian chain gimmick was absolutely stupid. I mean, going around the ring touching poles. I mean, it's hideous. It is absolutely hideous. I mean, a non-wrestling fan, if they don't laugh at us already, would absolutely howl at this match. I mean, touching poles around the ring. It's ridiculous. It's what children would do. It looked stupid. I mean, Rusev's this hunky guy and he's walking around touching lights. I mean, we saw it last year with a strap match. It's stupid. And it just makes it very difficult to have a wrestling match. I mean, they're both tied with a chain around their arms. They're trying to avoid the rope. They're trying to avoid the chain when they're doing each other's moves. They're trying to avoid landing on the chain when they're doing each other's moves. They spend too long kind of a tug of war. They spent too long doing a tug of war in the middle of the ring. It's just stupid. I mean, and the endings are really flat as well. I mean, Cena gets 1, Cena gets 2, Cena gets 3, AA, Cena gets 4, woo! I mean, they don't even end good. I mean, no, they're just shit. I mean, I don't know whose idea they were. They're just bad. They don't end well at all. I mean, yeah, he gets all the lights, woo! Is that it? Like, I was like, is that it? What? Is that it? I mean, it was shit. I mean, it didn't bring anything new to the table. Nothing that we hadn't seen already between Cena against Rusev. Their match against WrestleMania, their match against Fastlane was, both of them were much better than this. So why did they ever think about doing the match again? For me, this was the worst match of the night. Boo-hoo. Okay, so I managed to take a sneaky glimpse at Wade Barrett, BNB, against Adrian Neville. This match was really, really good. It was on the kickoff show to replace Daniel Bryan against Bad News Barrett because Daniel Bryan, sadly, isn't the guy that we thought he would be. He's now injured, and we don't know when he's coming back. So thankfully, we got this match instead. I mean, I'd really love to see this become a really big feud. I mean, an English guy against an English guy, that would be freaking fantastic because they put on a hell of a match on a kickoff show. Bloody fantastic. Ending with the red arrow. It looked so good and it was really, really cool match. I mean, both guys worked really well together. Great chemistry. They sold the moves really, really well. It was just a really good match. You should go back and watch it because I thought it was really, really good, especially due to the fact it was a pre-show match and nobody really cared about it. But at the end of the day, both guys delivered and put on a fantastic match. Thumbs up. Okay guys, so my rating for Extreme Rules 2015 will be a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't that bad overall. I thought it was good, but it was nowhere near as good as WrestleMania was last month, so it was never going to be as good as that. It was always going to get overshadowed by the pay-per-view before, but at the end of the day, some matches were good. There was a few which weren't that good, but overall I thought there were some good matches and some which took me by surprise and were even better than they thought they were going to be. So overall, it was worth a watch. What did you guys think? hit the like button, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Take care, spike your hair.